Hi, I'm Professor Eric Morrow. Could you talk a little bit to the students about the relationship between what the readers want to sell the papers, what the advertisers need, that you need to sell the papers, versus what we sort of teach in the classroom about what, quote unquote, good journalism is, right? During the election period, you would think there'd be a lot of stories in the paper about candidates that election. PD ran a good piece on Sunday about issue 2, today ran issue 3. Those things are being covered, but on the other hand, there's a lot of coverage about sports, high school sports, TV ran that. How does that work? How do you decide whether the Sun will run the full page on homecoming? How does the political magazine decide running the report on the neighborhoods or the schools? How do you balance that between what the students want to do as sort of objective journalism, hard-hitting, investigative reporting versus what you need to sell papers in the magazines?
Well, that's the age-old question. How do we get people to read the newspapers? And, I think we try to hit a balance at Sun with giving people what they want and also what they need to have. So hopefully, if we make our pages interesting, we spend a lot of time, talking about what's going on page 1, what's going on, the other pages. And if we are able to put something enticing on page 1 that we know readers are going to want to read, then, we're certainly hoping then that they'll read the long story about, the 12 candidates running for city council in Seven Hills or Parma Heights or wherever it might be. I was going to make another point, but it flew out of my head. Okay, I'll just pass it on.
I want to note that sometimes readers ask for the news and the newspapers respond. The West Side Sun is, I think, from reader response going to include the crime reports.
That was the point I was going to make. Yeah,
I'm one of those readers. I didn't call in for it, but I was glad someone else did, because all the rest of the suburbs were represented, the city wasn't. And so in a sense you had a nice reader response for what I would consider pretty serious news.
Well, at Cleveland Magazine, my editor pays a lot of attention to which cover packages sell the most copies on the newsstand. And you made a reference to, I think, to the Rating the Suburbs issue, which is wildly popular and which people turn to decide where to buy a home. And I think people buy it just for hometown pride, to see how their town is ranking, even if they have no intention of ever shopping for a home. So a lot of that's a 5.5 month project for us, and we spend a lot of time on it because we know that the readers want it very badly. In general, and then some of the things that I'm working on that may have to get them done by the April and May issue, or I got to set it aside for a while. As far as the mix of a typical issue of the magazine, I had a 8-page profile of Jimmy DeMora, the embattled county commissioner under FBI investigation, in the October issue. And that wasn't the cover story. No, we did not put the 400-pound county commissioner on the cover as our cover boy. The cover package was the Best of Cleveland, which is another very popular thing, another very popular package that every city magazine does. And then my story was blurred at the top of the cover, so you knew it was in there. In general, the two missions of a city magazine are narrative journalism and service journalism. Service journalism being things like Best of, the Rating the Suburbs, the news you can use, the small, very practical stuff. And then narrative journalism, long-form storytelling. And we try to have a mix in every issue.
You talked a little bit about wanting to sell the paper. Well, I guess we don't really think about it in that way, because what really sells is news. So if you look at what are some of the biggest selling newspapers, I don't just mean Cleveland, but in history, they're on big news days. 9/11, you couldn't find a paper in this country because they were all sold out. Everybody sold out. After the election, people had to go back and print more editions because people wanted to read about it and to keep it. So what sells is big news. When it comes to deciding what's on the front page, and you're always looking at a combination of what you think people are interested in, what you want them to know, and what you can shine a spotlight on that's going to make a positive difference in the community. So for the plain dealer, if I was just wanting to put out there what people wanted to read, you know what it would be? Browns, 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 Cavs, 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 and then like weird story involving often a movie star, or because, and you know how I know that? Because I can see what people are clicking on online. Every single day, what drives our traffic online is news about the Browns. Every day, even in baseball season, even in basketball season. And you know, you think the Browns should be better to get all of that interest. But, you know, so what we do is, you know, this is a huge sports town. Sports news is news, in my opinion. So we do have a lot of sports out there on the front page because it's something that people talk about. It's something that gets people excited. And we have a ton of stories about the investigation into corruption in county government, about the issues on the election, about what the former Sheriff McFall has been doing. I mean, areas that we think as the largest and most credible provider of local news in our region, where we can really make a significant difference. So those are our focus.
I think we're going to end there. I want to thank all the panelists for coming. I want to thank all of you for coming. And I also wanted to remind everyone that all the panelists, well, except for Leo Jeffries because he's a professor here, but all of them, you do have a chance to get an internship at Sun News and the Penn Dealer and Clear Magazine and the Mid-American Conference. So, you know, keep that in mind as well. And Maggie's going to make some closing statements.
Yeah, definitely keep in mind that internships are a great way for them to notice you. Also, we are trying to recruit people for the SPJ because we currently only have about 5 members. It's a great way to get to know people in the field. We're trying to branch out a little bit. Right now we only have people that are interested in science, which is why we don't really have a media representative there because nobody really knew anybody. So there's information out on the desk in front of between those 2 doors, and then you can talk to Faith or I, and then Matt, Brian, Courtney, David, anybody if you're interested. And just thank you all for coming.